Hi guys, welcome to today's Bip Talk. My name is Susan Cape and I am an account executive here at Bipper. We are so excited to be here today with you guys. We're so happy that you took a few minutes out of your busy days to come be with us. Today's Bip Talk is about ranking higher in Google Maps and the importance of SEO and how those two work together. We are going to introduce Bobby Holland in just a second. He's going to talk to us about how to rank higher, why that's important, making you more visible for clients to find you, hopefully making that phone ring, which will convert to new clients for you guys, new customers. So without further ado, I'm going to call Bobby Holland up and let's get started. Thanks. Welcome, Bobby Holland.
Hey, thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. And thank you for everyone who's watching this video. Really appreciate you tuning in. You'll see a QR code here, just real quick. You can scan that if you're watching it like on your desktop, I guess, with your phone. You can scan this and enter your website URL and see your authority score. We'll dive into that, what that means here in a second, but that's what this particular QR code is for. So thank you again for watching. I am Bobby Holland, founder, CEO of BipperMedia.com, and today I'm going to talk about the framework to higher rankings in Google Maps and why that's super important. We have clients that are really small local businesses. They literally work out of their home. Google Map ranking and visibility is the #1 driving force to them getting more customers and more phone calls for their business. We have clients that are enterprise level with 400 plus locations throughout the United States. Those locations being found in Google Maps is everything to that particular location, getting new customers and growing their business. So from large to small, Google Map rankings and visibility is everything to you growing your business in Google search. All right, so today this framework of how to rank of higher rankings in Google Maps, I'm going to cover 3 key components to that, and let's get started. Number 1, you need to have a verified GMB. GMB is the term that we still use. It's kind of going the old school term, the Google My Business. Today, Google's changed that up. It's now called a Google Business Profile, but it's one and the same. Google Business Profile and GMB. Ultimately, what that means for you, it's your Google Map listing for your business, okay? You need to have a verified GMB or a verified Google Map listing for your business. That is kind of the ante into the game of being found in Google search. If you're in a market that's even a somewhat large city with even just a few competitors, I guarantee you your competitors have a verified Google Business Profile or verified Google Map listing. And if theirs is verified and yours isn't, you're already at a handicap and they're already at an advantage in Google search. So that's why this is point number 1. And it's really kind of the ante into the whole game. All right. So number 1, verified GMB. Number 2, once you have a verified GMB, then what we do for our clients is we build a portfolio of what we call citations. All right. A common question is, Bobby, what's a citation? So if you look at your Google Map listing, there's 7 variables, 7 components that make up a citation. That is, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, your business name, your street address, your city, state, zip, phone number, and your website URL. Okay, those components, which is very kind of basic, your business information, those components collectively are what we refer to as a citation. So we take that citation and we distribute it. For our clients, we build about 300 high authority citations. The importance of that is it creates a reinforcement loop to your location in Google Maps. Okay, if you do step 1, which is really super important, but you don't build any citations, now what you're doing is you're leaving it up to Google and data across the web to solidify and remove any ambiguity of your address in Google Maps. Super important if you're in large metro areas, like if you're in the middle of Manhattan or you're in Midtown Atlanta. Those small granular elements of your citation or your address is super important to have reinforced. That's what citations do. That's the value of citations, okay? So number 1, verified GMB. Number 2, build a portfolio of high authority citations for your business, okay? And then number 3, and this is really the fuel, the jet fuel to increasing your rankings and visibility in Google search. And that is your authority, okay? Your domain authority. we use the term domain authority. Ultimately, what we're talking about is how you increase your authority is through referring domains, or the most common way it's presented is backlinks. Okay, so the way you increase your domain authority is by building a large number of high authority backlinks to your website URL. Okay, now a common question we get, because I've been talking about Google Maps, right? Now I'm talking about ranking in Google Maps. Now I'm talking about your website, right? So a common question I get is people are wondering, we're talking about two different things. Like you were talking about Google Maps, now you're talking about your website. What's the correlation between these two? If you look at your Google Map listing, right? Remember the 7 variables I talked about that make up your citation. Remember I said your website URL is one of those 7 variables of your citation. So in the world of Google Maps, in the world of rankings, Google actually uses your website URL, and it uses the authority of your website URL that's associated with your Google Map listing to determine your rankings in Google Maps. Okay, so in essence, say it another way, is by increasing backlinks and building the authority of your website, you are also directly contributing to your rankings and visibility in Google Maps. Okay, so that's why building domain authority is so important in the framework of ranking higher in Google Maps. Okay, a lot of businesses, a lot of your competitors, they have a verified GMB. A lot of competitors, we see it. We do competitive analysis all the time. A lot of competitors have a lot of citations that have been built for their business. But when you start building high authority backlinks to your website, that's where the divergence of rankings and authority and visibility really starts to unfold in Google search. Okay? And I have a couple slides. We're going to look at that here in a second. This particular slide shows, this is simply ranking positions, position 1 through 10. Okay, everybody's familiar with Google search results, what it looks like. Here's position 1 through 10, and then over here is the click-through rate of the amount of clicks that each position gets. Okay, you can see here at position number 1, if you're ranked position number 1 in Google search, you're getting over 27% of all of the clicks that are happening in Google search. The click-through rate correlates also to all other productivity numbers. So phone calls, form submissions, lead generation, all the above follow suit with this click-through rate. If you're number 1, you're getting the overwhelming majority of all of the productivity and click-through in your entire market, okay? And then you can see, as you come down the row, you can see how quickly the click-through rate and the productivity just falls off a cliff, okay? It's a very dramatic drop. If you're ranked number 10, you're getting a very small marginal percentage of the total amount of traffic and productivity happening. And this is just number 10. You can imagine as you get to page 2 and 3 and 5 and 10, okay? So getting as high as you can ranked in Google search is where you start tapping into that larger percentile of click-throughs and really all productivity that comes from being found in Google search. And then the second slide shows you the total ranking pages and the correlated backlinks to those pages. So say it another way, this is the same thing, position 1 through 10, okay? And then you can see the total number of backlinks pointing to each page and where they're ranking. So you see position number 1 has the most backlinks pointing to it. Okay, the same holds true in Google Maps as it does in Google Organic. So to say it another way, to increase your rankings or say it again, to increase your rankings in Google Maps, you have to have a verified GMB. We think it's critically important to build citations, but once those foundational components are in place, it all comes down to building backlinks, high authority backlinks to your website, okay? In all this research, the previous slide, this slide is the most recent research data that I was able to find. I've been doing this for going on 15 plus years now. These research, this types of slides, I've been seeing these same exact slides for 15 years. The same was true 15 years ago as it is today. Even though Google's algorithm, probably hear it all the time, Google updates their algorithm thousands of times a year. some of those updates build up a lot more momentum in like the news and press and whatnot, and a lot of buzz happens around it. But Google's algorithm is always updating, and it has always been updating. But these particular foundational components are just as true today as they were 15 years ago. It's an algorithm based on backlink analysis, all right? And you can see it here. All right. So again, the framework to higher rankings in Google Maps. It's really simple. It's 3 key components. Number 1, your verified GMB. I describe it as kind of the ante into the game. All right, if you don't have a verified GMB, I guarantee you enough competitors do that they're going to have the advantage in Google search. Number 2, once you have your verified GMB, building a portfolio of high authority citations. It's really important because it creates a reinforcement loop to your verified GMB and your data in Google Maps, okay? Really important. Once these 2 components are solidified, it really comes down to number 3. That's the jet fuel that creates a divergence in search between you and all your competitors. And that is building high authority backlinks to your website. So, with all that being said, that is the Business Bip Talk. Pretty short, pretty sweet. If you have any questions, you can scan that QR code, go to our website, schedule a call with us. During that call, we'll pull up your information, we'll pull up your data, we'll look at your website authority, we'll see what your backlink portfolio is. You can give us competitors. We can see how you align with competitors. So we'll be able to show you exactly where you are, exactly why you are ranked where you are relative to your competitors. We'll show you why your competitors are doing as bad or as well as they're doing, and we'll give you a roadmap to improving and increasing your rankings and visibility in Google Maps. So I believe we're going to take a couple of questions at this point. So my amazing daughter and amazing person on the sales team, Abigail.
Hey guys, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us today on our Bip Talk, and we do actually have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
So the first person was wondering, you mentioned citations.
Yep.
So obviously we build high authority, good quality citations for our clients, but for people who are viewing, what are some citations that they can build for their own company? Like what are some examples of citations that them themselves can build?
Yeah, great question. So thinking off the top of my head, we have a lot of lawyers, a lot of law firms who are clients of ours, okay? This is actually a really good example with lawyers. There's the U.S. News Legal Directory. If you're a lawyer and you're watching right now, I know for a fact that this is a directory that is off your radar. I only know that because we look at a lot of we talk to a lot of lawyers, and only a few of them even know that the U.S. News has a legal directory. But the U.S. News Legal Directory, number 1, it's the most authoritative legal directory on the planet. Like it's like a DR90, it's like a DR93. Number two is, remember a citation, to answer your question,
Yep.
Where can I get the citation? You have your website URL. For whatever reason, I'm assuming it's not by accident, but your link from the U.S. News, DR93 level directory, is a 100% do follow backlink. And I know because we talk to enough lawyers. Yep. It is not commonly known. I mean, of course, there's a lot of lawyers in the U.S. News Legal Directory, but the majority that we talk to, they don't even know that that exists. So to answer your question, that's one great example. Yeah. If you're a lawyer, the U.S. News Legal Directory, it's not easy to get in, and maybe that's why there's not a lot of lawyers in that directory. It's kind of old school. They want you to put together like an Excel spread, like .xl as whatever, like a literal Excel spreadsheet, and they want you to email that file to them. So it's not super easy, right? If you're a lawyer, you're probably more familiar with things like Avo or FindLaw or Justia, right? Those are things on the site, and which those are also examples to answer your question. Mm-hmm. Those are directories that you can get into and make sure your information, your citation is 100% accurate. But the U.S. News is a little kind of legacy old school, and that might be why there's not a lot of people in it, but it is by far the most authoritative legal directory on the internet, yeah. And you need to be in it. So that's an example of lawyers. We also have a lot of like contractor service related businesses. So you have what's called Angie's. It used to be called Angie's List. It's now just Angie's. You have Home Advisor, things of that nature, TripAdvisor if you're a restaurant. So all of these are examples of directories that your business can get added into. And when you add your business, you'll add your business name, your street address, your city, state, zip, phone number, and website URL. That's a citation.
Yeah.
Those are directories that you can take advantage of.
And I also know that sometimes social media profiles can also be considered a citation. Anything that has your business name, address, phone number, and website, I know you can put that in the bios of like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, things like that. Those are also kind of considered citations. It's a different form, but it has the business information. So
they are different, but I want to, like, I mentioned U.S. News because it's a differentiator, right? Like, you know, every business has, I mean, not every business, but for the most part, every business has a Facebook page, right? Every business has LinkedIn or something like that. Like, though, or I mean, not every business does, but those aren't huge differentiators, right? What I just told you in the legal space, U.S. News, magnificent differentiator. And also, ironically enough, the most authoritative directory on the web. So even more so of a differentiator. So look at the places you can get into. Those are right. Facebook, LinkedIn, you know, your social media profiles, those are right to get your citation in. But look at your industry and see if you have industry-specific directories that you can get into.
Yeah.
Right? I know they exist. The healthcare, dental practice, plastic surgeons. There's directories that exist that are just for those particular market categories, and I would encourage you, or we would be more than happy to. We have huge lists of niche directories depending on the type of industry. We've been doing this a very long time. So schedule a call. We would love to talk to you and show you, but you can also get on Google and you can find these. And U.S. News, if you're a lawyer watching, this is just a freebie. You got to get in U.S. News. You got to get it. It's a huge difference maker.
Awesome. Yeah, so second question that someone asked, they asked about blog posts. How does that coincide with SEO strategy?
Yeah, so blog posts, critically important. So I didn't cover it in the 3 steps of this framework here, but it can easily be the next workshop that we do. Blog posts, and really what's most important when it comes to blog posts is consistency. Even if you're doing 1 blog post a month, right? Or you're doing 1 blog post a week, being consistent each week and being consistent each month. The thing is that Google's algorithm, as complex as it is, and I talked about it, number 1, I know that backlinks are a foundational component of Google's ranking algorithm, but number 2, Google's algorithm favors what we refer to as productivity, right? Production. And at a very simple level, what that means is Google is going to favor your site in Google Maps and Google Organic if you are consistently being productive with your site, which means the only way really you can do that is by producing blog posts. And producing blog posts on a consistent basis, right? And again, reach out to us, let us know. We'd love to help you. We produce a lot of blog posts. We have syndication. That's a whole nother workshop that we can do. At a very simple level, Google's algorithm favors productivity, which means consistent production work on a regular basis, and blog posts is the best way to do that.
And they favor content, so
content.
It just checks both of those boxes. So awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Third question that we have, and the final question for today, it's going to be, someone used an example of like, how do they get found in the surrounding areas of where they're located? So, for example, we're here in Athens, Georgia. They want to reach Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
How can they do that?
Yeah, so that's an amazing question. We'll have another workshop on this particular topic.
We're going to have lots of different workshops.
Stay tuned. Make sure you stay there. There's all kinds of workshops. This particular topic, I could literally talk about and show you examples all day long. To answer your question, we refer to them as city pages. Okay, so it really starts with understanding one of the characteristics of Google search. Google is a very location proximity based platform. Okay, you see it in Google Maps, for example. You get directions to somewhere, you're using Google Maps. Google literally knows the intersection you're at, and it knows if you need to turn right or left. Like at a very granular level, Google knows exactly where people are when they're searching. Okay, so in Google search, what that means is if I'm in Athens, and you've probably seen it before, if I'm in Athens and I search something like carpet cleaning service near me, or just carpet cleaning services, or best carpet cleaning, something like that. Mm-hmm. If I'm in Athens, the search results that I see, Google first looks at my sees where I am, and looks to the proximity of where I am, and sees if there's any relevant search results, meaning pages, to show in the search results, mm-hmm. right? So if I'm in Athens and I search carpet cleaning services or best carpet cleaning services, the results that I see will be very much tailored to us here in Athens. Right. If I get in the car and I drive to Midtown Atlanta and pull out my phone and I do the exact same search, best carpet cleaning services, right? Number one, location proximity, Google search, it's like the number one box that the algorithm checks. Yep. I know exactly where you are, and now I'm looking in your proximity to see if there's businesses, pages, relevant results based on where you are, and that is where city pages come into play. So if I'll just stay with carpet cleaning, for example. If we're a carpet cleaner in Athens, right? But we want to expand, we want to get more customers in Atlanta, right? I have two choices. Mm-hmm. We can either go to Atlanta and secure a lease, get an office, do everything that entails, right. And like literally create a GMB and go the whole route there. Or let's say I want to be in Atlanta, but I also want to be in the 27 cities, major cities that are between Athens and Atlanta. I'm obviously not going to go and secure 27 leases on 27 office spaces between here and Atlanta.
That's not ideal.
That's not ideal. What I'm going to do, though, is build city pages. Yeah. City pages are pages that you build within your website, optimize them for the cities you want to target, and now Google sees you have a page that's optimized for Atlanta, for example, and now all the way back to the proximity factor of search, when somebody's in Atlanta searching for best carpet cleaning services or whatever, Google sees our page in Atlanta, optimized for Atlanta. Google sees it as a relevant result to the person that's in Atlanta. Now our carpet cleaning business is connecting with the people in Atlanta, multiplied by, you name it, the number of cities that you want to target. We actually have a DUI client in Atlanta. He's actually in Marietta, which is a suburb of Atlanta. He's a DUI lawyer, so he wants like the entire market of Atlanta. He wants to be found everywhere. He actually had us build over 70 city pages, and he has one office in Marietta, and 70 city pages for Atlanta and all the major suburbs surrounding Atlanta, right? That's an example. He could have either gone and secured 70 plus leases in office spaces, or he could just have us build 70 city pages. Another kind of crazy example is a criminal defense lawyer client that we have in Savannah. There's still city pages, but here's the thing. The municipal courts, and I'm not a lawyer, so I can't speak too definitively. I just remember like his logic to it. Municipal courts, I guess that like you get a speeding ticket, or if like you're a teenager and you get a speeding ticket, you're going to the municipal court, right? And your spouse or your parents are with you in the municipal court, and then whatever the judge says, and now you need a lawyer, and you're physically in the municipal court. So our client in Savannah had us build city pages, but actually build pages for the municipal courts, the municipal courthouses themselves. So this client's website literally has pages. It's kind of like a Wikipedia page for the courthouse where his clients are literally sitting. Yeah. And it's just radically transformed his business. Now people in the courthouse who are looking for a lawyer, again, coming back to Google proximity, Google sees exactly where they are. Google's looking for pages that are relevant to where they are, and he now has pages relevant because they're physically in the courthouse. So those are kind of two examples of city pages, but that's the answer to your question.
Perfect.
That's how any business gets into any number of geographic areas, is through city pages.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that answers all of our questions for today. If you have any other questions, I would love to hop on a call with you guys and answer all of them. As he said before, we do strategy calls all the time, and honestly, if you just want someone to look at your data and analytics, check out your rankings and search, we're here to do that. So if you click on the QR code, scan it, book a call with us, we'll be happy to go over all that with you. So thank you so much for joining in with us today on this Bip Talk, and we'll
Stay
see you
tuned
next
for the
time.
next one.
We got
Yeah.
lots of them coming up. Clearly, we have lots to talk about. So perfect. Well, thank
Awesome.
you, Bobby.
All right. Thank
Yep.
you all.
Bye, guys.
Bye.